All right, here we go. The defending champs from the Pac-12 South, a month out from their season opener against Arizona. Utah's schedule featuring two Friday road matchups at UCLA and at Colorado. Tough couple of weeks at the end of November with back-to-back games against USC and ASU, both obviously strong competitors for the Pac-12 South title. Utah's divisional crossover matchup is a home game with Oregon State on December 5th. So to help us dive into the season ahead for the Utes, Kyle Whittingham, the head coach, is with us now. And coach, your 16th season as head coach at Utah. Have you ever been more anxious for the start of a fall camp than you are for the one that's kicking up on Friday?
Not that I can recall. This has been an interesting year to say the least, and to finally get some clarity on the situation and know that we're going to, well, hopefully know, as much as we can know at this point, barring unforeseen going-ons. But we're excited to get in the camp, which is going to crank up this Friday. And then, of course, we're scheduled to open up with Arizona, as you mentioned, on November 7th. So hopefully it all comes to fruition.
Very rarely, I think, as a head coach, do you get like big moments to change leaders within your team, especially at the quarterback position. You guys have that opportunity, as well as replacing, almost your entire defense. Is there one you're more anticipating, more intrigued by as you begin camp in a few days?
Well, we're really focused. First fall camp, the main focal point is going to be on getting that quarterback situation solidified. Right now, we have three guys that are in the mix. Drew Lisk, who has been in the program for 4 or 5 years. He's been here quite a while and done a great job for us. He was a walk-on initially, earned a scholarship, and he'll be competing with Cam Rising, the transfer from University of Texas, who will be in the second year in the program, and Jake Bentley, the transfer from South Carolina, who was in his first year. So it's going to be a battle for the QB spot. We got to be getting it down to 2 within a week or so into camp. We can't, give 3 guys reps for very long. So it'll go from 3 to 2 fairly quickly. And then hopefully 2 weeks out or more, we'll have the starter named and be able to give that guy all the 1 reps. And so that's going to be a huge part of our success this year is getting the right guy named at quarterback. A close second is going to be the secondary. We've got a complete rebuild going on in the secondary, lost all 5 starters. And so those 2 spots, the quarterback spot and the secondary spot, are definitely our primary focus.
Yeah, and we definitely want to get into the defense in just a minute. But just to follow up on what you're talking about with the quarterback, I'm curious, the fact that this year doesn't count towards eligibility, does that have any impact on how you look at either that QB spot or your depth chart in general? Do you make any different decisions knowing you won't be managing red shirts?
Not really, because even though it doesn't count as a year of eligibility, who knows who's going to declare for the NFL and move on. And so there's so many unknowns. As coaches, you just play, or focus on the task at hand and what's right in front of you. And you've always got to be conscious of the future and making sure your recruiting and so forth is looking towards that. But as far as right now, we're just focused on the 2020 season and trying to be as good a football team as we can become this year.
Coach, is it fair to say that your receiving core this year is the deepest it's been in your 16 years as the head coach? And if so, what's the expectation or standard of that group?
It seems to be on paper, and what's on paper and what actually happens sometimes, is 2 different things. But we've got a lot of veteran guys returning. Our expectation of that group is they got to be leaders for us. They've got, we lose the number 1 running back in Utah football history in Zach Moss. We leaned heavily on him the last few years. And this year, we've got the strength or one of the strengths of the team is the wide receiver core, and they've got to step up and that's, it's their time to shine. And we've got, Solomon Enos and Brian Thompson and Britt Covey and Jalen Dixon. We've got a host of veterans at that position in that receiving group. And they've got to step up and they've got to make plays for us.
So let's go back to the defensive side of the ball. And you mentioned everybody have to replace on the back end. I think I saw replacing 9 starters total on defense. At this point, kind of where are you in the process of evaluating who you have? And is there anybody that you've seen step up as a leader on that side of the ball as you guys get things going?
Well, we've had a long preparation time as far as skill instruction and fundamentals, techniques, no hitting, no pads, none of that stuff. And so we've got somewhat of an idea, but until you get the gear on, you don't know what you got for sure. Clark Phillips looks really good. I can tell you that right now. He's an incoming freshman that he was actually with us in spring for those 3 practices, but he's a guy that has really done a nice job. JT Broughton, the other corner, that was with the freshman last year. He'll be a sophomore this coming season. Bronson Boyd, Kenzel Lawler, Fabian Marks. We've got 5 or 6 guys competing for those 3 corner spots. We play in nickel secondary almost exclusively, so we're putting 3 corners on the field. And then at safety, it's going to be a new look as well with Vontae Davis is having a good pre-fall camp, I guess we can call it, experience. And then Nate Ritchie, a freshman we signed out of Lone Peak High School in state here last year, is really making a good showing for himself. So we'll see, but we really can't get things ironed out until we get these guys in pads and see what kind of evaluation we can get at that point.
We love getting to know JT and Clark prior to their signing day. A lot of the reason they came, of course, was your defense, but also the guys that preceded them, right? Jalen Johnson, Javelin Guidry. Where do they stand at this stage of their young careers compared to those 2 stars who are now playing in the NFL?
That's a great question. I'll have a lot better answer for you in about 7 to 10 days, after we have had a chance to really play football, because we haven't had a chance to play football yet. We've been very limited on what we can do, and mainly just agility drills and fundamentals, but we haven't been able to do any real football stuff. And so check back with me on that in about 10 days. But early indications are these guys have got a lot of upside.
Coaches, we've visited and spoken with coaches around the Pac-12 over the last few months. I think one of the things that keeps popping up in every conversation is how they've had to grow and adjust during this global pandemic to it's different. The coaches work on a calendar and everything by the minute is scheduled out. And now there's so much chaos and unknown. How have you, as you look back on the last 6 months, how have you grown or had to evolve as a head coach?
Well, I know as a program, I think we've handled it very well. And things seem to change weekly, if not daily. I mean, there's new protocols and new things that we've got to adjust to. But our guys have had a great attitude through this whole time frame. We've got a lot of work done in the film room, especially. Now as we've been able to focus, weight room and the film room have really been the primary focus for the last several months. And so I think we've handled this about as well as we could have. You're right, coaches are very regimented and like to know exactly what's going on, but I had to change my mindset on that and just really focus on, what the situation is right now and knowing it could change, but just get the most out of today and then just take it day by day and make sure that we're maximizing the, what the opportunities the NC2A are giving us as far as the structure of what we can do.
Speaking of coaches, you've mentored so many coaches around the country and, of course, within your program. What have you noticed about your defensive coordinator, Morgan Scalley, since he was reinstated within your program?
He's awesome. I believe he's one of the best coordinators in the country. Just exceptionally smart, relates well with the players, great motivator. He's an innovator. He's put his stamp on the defense for sure. We've been running the same basic scheme for a lot of years, but he has definitely put his stamp on it and taken it to another level. And so we're excited that he's our DC, and we hope we can hang on to him for a few more years.
Coach, obviously I know that, there's not going to be any fans allowed, at least for the beginning part, that may be revisited as the Pac-12 as things come together in the next couple of months. But I want to ask you about the construction project on Rice Eccles, because it sounds like it's moved forward. Paul Kirk, your brilliant SID, sent us some photos of the south end zone, which sort of no longer exists. Can you give us an update on that construction project, and are things going to be ready for where they need to be on November 7th?
Absolutely not ready as far as the south end zone. That's a moot point. We knew that when we tore it down. It's going to be we'll be fortunate if we have it ready for spring ball, and able to do some things in there, but not practicing. It'll be ready to play in there, obviously, but not. It's going to be a pretty rough look in the stadium for this season, because it's just not going to be that far along the project. And it's going to be makeshift. We got 3 home games minimum that we know that we're still exploring locker rooms and where we're going to go at halftime and all that stuff, because it's the locker rooms are completely gone. The home and visiting locker rooms, they were in that south end zone, so we've got to have an answer for it. Don't have an answer right here today, but we'll have an answer by November 7th. Speaking
of answers, the Kyle Olympics, what's the update? What's the latest in this unique year?
Still going through that. Now, this is not your typical fall camp as far as the structure, where you have them really from sun up to 9 at night. We're in school. It's going to be more like a glorified in-season routine rather than a full-on fall camp routine. And so I think the Olympics are going to be watered down a little bit, and we're still going to get something going, but it won't be the full-blown deal that we've had in years past.
Last thing for me, Kyle, and I know that your workouts have not been watered down. I can just imagine that they're a thing of lore around Salt Lake City. Have you had to adjust your daily workout routine during the pandemic, or innovate or improvise anything?
Yeah, knock on wood. I'm hoping that everything can just keep humming along smoothly, but I've been fortunate to be able to just continue to get them done, and got a few pieces of equipment in my house, so I can get a lot of stuff done there. I don't have to come to the office. There was a time where we weren't coming in the office, so I was forced to do it from home. But no, again, just been fortunate to be able to continue the progression of it.
In a world of chaos, at least we know there is one thing we can count on, and that is Kyle Whittingham's daily workout routine. We appreciate that.
Working at classic rock. Those are the 2 points.
Got to send us your playlist. All right, Coach, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. November 7th against Arizona. We are looking forward to seeing your team on the field this season, and best of luck with camp on Friday.
You bet. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.